Hey, everybody, get in here. It is time for the Morning Yank with Paul and Shawn. I'm Shawn. Hey, Paul. How are you?
Gia, get in here.
Get in here, Gia. That's when you need to say it right after. Get in here, Gia, like the backup in old rap groups. The hype guy. That's when he would always say his line.
Right at
the end to big punctuate things.
Gia.
There you go. We're gonna get this down.
Hey, everybody, get in here,
Gia. There you go. That'll be our mixtape when we put out our mixtape and drop it. That's how it'll go down.
That'll be sweet.
So Lolly got first. Lolly is the champ. Helen's here. Joan, Ron's here. Ron made it.
The Ronster.
I know, right? What'd you get snowed in? You got the day off?
Yeah, we're snowed in. I'm off on Tuesdays anyways, but yeah, we got snowed in.
A lot of people did. I got snowed in. I want to go down to the convenience store, get my bang and my do, but there's like half a foot of snow out there. I sound like such a baby.
Half a foot.
I know, right? It's crazy.
That's not even half of what we got.
When I let her out.
What did you bring in Pip Nasty last night?
Yeah, Pip Nasty is in here. He's here somewhere. He walk around. He's still sneezing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a cold.
I know, right? I didn't even know cats got colds, but
yeah, you know how you fix that?
What?
Yogurt.
Yogurt?
Yeah, it's a probacterial.
Huh.
It's perfect for cats.
Yogurt.
Yep, get them some yogurt. Don't let them eat the whole thing, but just a little bit of yogurt, and then like once or twice a day. It's got cultured bacteria in it, is what it has. So what it does is it helps to build their immune system.
Right on. Little interesting tip.
Looks like Lee's here too.
Lee, all right. So all right, we got people coming in. That's good. We've been doing. How long have we been doing this little show?
About 30, 40 years, I think.
30, 40 years. Yeah.
Something like that.
It's catching on.
Since Nam.
Since Nam.
Since we met in Nam.
Let's not talk about Nam.
Oh, no, that was a fucking bad time in my life.
Remember when the roller coaster went down for like a week?
No.
No, what's that from? I can't even take credit for that. It's from some cartoon or movie where they're showing like what Nam was like, and it's all like roller coasters and Ferris wheels and rides and shit, and the roller coaster was down for like a week, and that's their Nam story.
That's their Nam story.
Merle Jones got ice where she is. There's a lot of places. I had some news pulled up. There's a lot of places dealing with extreme weather right now. It's
Texas.
Very cold. A lot of places.
Texas is very weird, though.
Texas?
Oh, yeah. They're getting sub-zero weather, snow, ice. They're getting rolling blackouts. They're shutting down their power grids.
Isn't that going on in Kansas, too? Did I read that?
Yeah, it's supposed to be
shutting off power in Kansas for an hour a day.
It's supposed to be happening in a lot of places.
Why would they do that? They say to conserve energy, but wouldn't it take more energy? Like if you turned off my heat for an hour and then it's got to heat back up when you turn it back on, doesn't that take more energy? Isn't that the dumb way to run your power?
It is. Well, they're not smart people, though. You got to remember that. These are the same fucking idiots we deal with every day.
Right, but I also feel like they know that's going to jack up energy bills.
Of course they do. Why do you think they have the commercials that come out every time it gets hot or it gets cold outside? They tell you, drop your heat down to 67, 66 degrees in order to conserve on your heating bills. But that's a lie. That is a myth, and it doesn't happen that way, because if you have your heat down to 65, 66 degrees, everything in your house is now 65, 66 degrees. All your objects, your couch, everything. So now the thermostat thinks that it's cold in the house constantly because all your stuff's cold. So the heat is going to constantly be kicking. If you have your heat up to where I have it at 71, 72, it'll come on for 90 seconds and it won't come back on for fucking half hour because everything in my house is at the level where I need it to be. And my pipes don't freeze up. They know exactly what they're doing. Everything they say is fucking bizarro world. Do not anything that you see on your TV, just think the opposite is real.
It's good advice.
Yeah, just like you said though. So if you have your shit down at, let's say, 65, and then you turn it up to 71, it's going to take so much of your heat bill to get it up to that level, and then all your stuff in your house is still cold, so you got to wait for all that stuff to warm up and get to that level. So your heat bill is through the roof when people do that shit, and then they're blind sheep. They blindly follow it, and they're like, "Oh well, the news said so. It's got to be true."
Yeah, the flickering box told me it would never lie to me.
That box that tries to sell me things, it would never lie to me.
No. And especially not the scrying mirror that I'm holding in my hand that listens to everything that I say and gives me ads for those as well.
Right. Everything's an ad. Tony Smith.
I know, right?
Love Tony Smith.
In the house. I do too.
Love me some Bible rants.
Yep.
Truth was it
Truth Church. Everybody
Truth
kept calling
Church.
it Cuss Church, but I guess that's a little accurate. I like Truth Church.
What's wrong with Cuss Church though? I mean, let's be honest. The apostles were pissed off at Jesus because Jesus hung out after the table flipping and all that shit. They had an after party, like what we today would call an after party, and it was literally like an orgy and shit. And it was Matthew and all Matthew's friends and shit. And Jesus went in and he was giving sermons, and the apostles stayed outside. And the apostles were mad. And actually, Peter was the one that took Jesus aside and said, "Why would you be in there with them when your true believers are out here?" And he says, "Well, apparently you don't need me as much as they need me." So it made sense. And then they all went in and they would have their own little corner, each one, and they would have a little group of people surrounding them in each corner, and they were giving sermons. But you don't have to force it onto people. You don't have to try to be somebody you're not. The thing is be yourself, man. Be yourself. Try to help people. Help the ones that need it the most. If you have a friend standing next to you and that friend is equal-minded to you, that friend doesn't need as much help as the other person that's in the street, that's homeless, alcoholic, got a lot of shit going on.
I feel that way too. That's the way I understood it. Like, I don't fully know the Bible very well. Can't quote scripture or anything like that. But what I've been taught about Jesus my whole life was that he reached out to people like that. He didn't
go for the people that would agree with him. Right. He didn't always follow the people that agreed with him. Jesus went on tour. See, this is what cracks me up is when people say, "Well, Jesus never existed." What do you mean he didn't exist? The man went on tour. He was literally performing in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people on a daily basis. He went on a tour around the world, and everybody's seen this man. When he went to Italy, he was in Italy, and they kept calling him Messiah, and they were literally chanting it. And there was 20,000 people, and they were chanting Messiah, Messiah. And he pulled the one priest aside, and he says, "Well, who do you think I am?" And he said, "Well, you're the Messiah." And he wasn't really happy with it. It ended up being Mary Magdalene who started calling him teacher, and that's what pleased Jesus the most, was being called teacher, because he always said that, just like Tony says in his rants, you have the same powers I have. You just need to know how to tune it in. But we all have the Holy Spirit. We all have this gift from God. So he wanted to be called teacher. That was his greatest accomplishment, was being called teacher. And the day he rose and nobody else recognized him, the disciples, they didn't recognize him. They said, "Who is this man you're bringing in with us?" And and Mary Magdalene was like, "Well, this is Jesus. This is teacher." And that was the first thing she said to him when she seen him. She recognized him above everybody else. And she's like, "Teacher?" And he wasn't recognizable. He took on a new form. And then he went on another tour. And still people fucking act like he didn't exist. Like, what are you people thinking? Yeah, that's like saying Metallica didn't exist because I never seen him or something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've never seen him live.
I've never seen him live. They didn't exist.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I don't understand atheism, honestly. I don't get it.
I don't either.
It to me is a very arrogant stance to take that position. I don't think there's any evidence for it. You know, I was in a debate on a show, and someone asked me about that. It came up and what my evidence was for God, and I feel like everything is. Just look around you. Existence is evidence of God. But I don't think Bayless felt like that was a good enough answer.
Atheism,
I think it is. I don't think this is random.
I just think it's a excuse for laziness. Because if you're an atheist, you don't have to do any homework. You don't have to do any research. You don't have to do nothing. You basically just say everything is because shit happens. So I don't have to do any research. I don't have to think for myself.
Right.
Yet they find shit every day. They found Noah's Ark up at the top of Mount Ararat. You can look that video up. That's fucking crazy. That thing is huge. And right at the bottom of Mount Ararat is fucking Göbekli Tepe, which has these huge fucking cylinders that are dug into the ground. And each one of them has a carving of a different animal on it at Göbekli Tepe. And so my theory is that each one of these was where they held that animal that was on the ark. And there's literally like 35, 40 of them. Each one of them is as big as a football field. And there's like 30 or 40 of them that they found. There's supposedly hundreds of them that are still buried under the ground. Some farmer was going out, hanging out with his sheep and shit like that. And he fucking seen a rock sticking out of the ground. He started to dig it up, and it turned out to be one of the cylinders for Göbekli Tepe, which literally sits right at the very bottom in Turkey at Mount Ararat, where the fucking at the very top of Mount Ararat is where Noah's Ark is. And it says in the Bible, you will find this ark at Mount Ararat. It's there.
No, but you know,
it's lazy. It's a lazy way to be.
I don't understand it.
Well, in order for the way I explain it is there has to be a God. Even atheists claim that there is a God. Like Tyson DeGrasse, he says, talking about the atom smasher machine, the hadron collider. He says that he was doing some reporter was interviewing him something about religion, and he kept saying there was no God, blah blah blah. So eventually the guy asked him about his machine. He talked about the machine. He said this machine creates universes and everything like that, as if you was to say that God could do. But he says, but I'm doing it. So he says, how does this machine work? He says, does it work by itself, or do you have to turn it on? He said, do you have to flip a switch for this to work? Does somebody other than the machine itself have to turn it on to make that machine work? DeGrasse Tyson fucking didn't say another word. Sat there with his fucking balls in his mouth. And who was it? Einstein. Was it Einstein or was it yeah, it was Einstein. Said that the last 30 years of his career, he tried to disprove God, tried to prove that God didn't exist, only time and time again to prove that he was real. He said that on his deathbed. Deathbed confessions are 100%.
No, that's true. And you know what? They always take the stance that they don't have to disprove it. That's not their obligation. They're not the ones making a claim. But you are making a fucking
But you are.
claim. You're saying there's no. Yes, you are. You're just hiding behind. It's the shit that they use, and then they all practice it, so they all reinforce it and pat each other on the back for using that little tactic. But it's cowardly.
They love whataboutisms too. Well, what about this or what about that?
Yeah, like purple unicorns and shit. They talk about those a lot. That's a tactic in order to gaslight the shit out of you so that your topic sounds ridiculous when
it sounds like inner hatred to me. It sounds almost like they're battling with themselves. You know? I mean, if you're arguing with yourself, then you're probably having battles within yourself.
You know, a lot of times that's what I find. You know, you talk to them and you really get into a deep conversation with them. You find out they were hurt in some way. and blame religion for it.
Oh, a lot of people do. They blame God because they didn't win the lottery. I prayed and I didn't win the lottery. That's not how that works. Like, if people have really understood how faith works, faith is literally shutting everything off, turning off everything you've ever known, and basically walking blindly straight ahead. And you know that the path in front of you is already worked out, that the doors are already opened. These people have already been in I don't know, for lack of a better word, indoctrinated into the beliefs that you already believe. And all of a sudden, these people start popping in your life, left and right. And the thing is, it's the hardest thing to do is the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do is to do absolutely nothing. The hardest thing to do is to give up control, total control of your life, and let God fucking take control of your life. Well, it sounds easy, but it's not. So many people are so into control that they have to control every little aspect in their life. And they don't realize that they're passing up on a lot of good shit that's already sitting there waiting for them. I can't think for myself. I'm not fucking smart enough to do that. Every time I try to do shit on my own, make my own decisions and go against the grain or go against what my mind is telling me and shit, I fuck it up. Everything gets messed up. And it never works itself out. And then you keep trying to fight it and fight it. Like for instance, that girl. You know, there's always that girl that your gut tells you she's a fucking, you know, she's out with other guys, blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever it is. Yeah, but your gut is telling you, get her away from you. Get her away from you. And you're fighting it. And you're like, no, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this work. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't make it work, because there is no make it work.
No.
You gotta surround yourself with the people that are gonna not think like you, but have that inner soul, I guess. You know, your frequency. The frequency has to be on key. If you're not in the same frequency as somebody else, that's not good. I mean, it's hard to get them onto your frequency. That's why I always say plant seeds and walk away. Leave the dead to bury the dead. Don't ever stand around and wait for that seed to grow, because you have other seeds you need to plant. Eventually, right, that seed's going to grow. It's going to remember shit. Like, it's going to see something in its daily life and think back to when Shawn said some shit and be like, oh, man, that's fucked up. And then at first it's disbelief. And then it's fucking starts to come around and you start to really see it, you know, and then you become scared. And then after you're scared, eventually you start looking at it as entertainment. And once you start looking at it as entertainment, they have lost their game, because you are no longer wrapped around their finger. You are no longer wrapped around their bullshit that they want to have you scared of, all that bullshit. Don't be scared of anything. Be scared of God. That's the only thing you should ever be scared of. Ever.
I love how Tony showing up turned this into Morning Yank Church. It really did. He brings Tony it out of people. That's good. That's why he's doing good, I feel. That and you know, you were saying earlier that the language shouldn't matter. I don't feel it should. Doesn't. Look how God is talking about God right away, just him being in the room.
Yep, that's exactly right. And then, hey, where three or more speak in my name, I will be. So we're literally talking to God right now.
That's why I think Truth Church is such a great name for the segment.
It is. And to think about, though, the swearing or anything like that. What's that?
I said I'm good at marketing.
Oh, I thought you said you couldn't hear me.
No.
Yeah, but for as far as swearing and everything goes like that, you can't judge me. That's God's job. And you can't do God's job. And if you try to step on his toes, that's not a good way to be. You know, don't be judgmental over somebody because they talk like 90% of the people you meet.
That's how I feel too.
90% of the people you meet, they talk just like me and Tony and you.
I love the authenticity of it. A word. I don't know why I had such trouble with it.
Strategery.
Yeah.
That's George Bush.
Oh, yeah. He did have a little trouble talking sometimes.
Daggone strategery, man. those daggone tourists, man. Tourists attacking.
Well, what did he say about fool me once?
He goes, fool me once. shame on you. Wait, he goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You know, Yank will fool me again.
Yeah. That's it. He's great.
Like, and then he goes at the beginning, he goes, you know the saying. And so after he was done, I was like, I don't know that saying.
Never
heard that one. That's a good one. Tourist
or
attack.
In the intro, terrorist attack. And he bites the carrot. What is he eating?
A daggone tourist attack, man. He's eating souls.
Eating souls. Taking a fresh bite of a soul.
I gotta wash it down with a little bit of hate.
So what should we segue? What do we even? Can we even segue out? What? How do we get out to a different topic? What else is going on? Everybody's very cold.
Everybody's cold, including Cuomo.
Cuomo. He's got a soul made of ice.
He does.
He's a psychopath. I mean, he's justifying his behavior because they're throwing him under the bus, which I think is kind of odd. But you know, he's not the only governor that did this. My governor did it. Yeah. Why were they doing that? You think? What logical reason? How do they justify it? I don't even listen to their excuses.
Well, the logical reason is because they wanted to bump up the numbers because they were getting an extra
$35,000, $40,000. What did they justify it with?
They justified it with it was a necessity, needed to be done. Trump didn't do anything to help. Those ships that were off the Montauk Harbor, you know, the Mercy ships, those were just a figment of your imagination. You were tripping on acid when you seen those, and Trump's an asshole, and that's what he said yesterday. I watched it, and then he says, "Us sending those COVID patients back into nursing homes isn't what killed those seniors." He's like, "Seniors die. That's what they do. Old people die."
Oh, now they die.
So then he goes right after that. He says, "I blame it on the staff." He says the staff brought the COVID into the nursing home, not the COVID patients.
He literally killed grandmas.
And then said Trump is out there killing grandmas. But as we've learned over the years, whatever they say, you know that's what they're doing. Whatever they blame someone else for, you know that's what they're doing. Guaranteed.
Tony found the saying, what he said. There's a saying in Texas. I know it's Tennessee, but in Texas, fool me once, fool me twice. You fool me, I can't get fooled again. I tried to make it make sense, but it doesn't. Yeah, he tripped all over that one.
That was great. He made up his own shit. He's
People like, forget about him. You know,
like strategery, man. We're gonna have to bump up our strategery, man.
And I like how they're all hugging on him now and cuddling up with him,
as if they weren't all on the same team before, anyways. You know,
right?
Those motherfuckers all on the same team. So yeah, he murdered all those people and then come out and, you know, he deserves the Emmy because that's an acting award. So he definitely deserves the Emmy. He also deserves to fucking go to jail for that shit. And so does my governor, Whitmer.
But they should all be prosecuted.
He had the USS Mercy literally like 5 miles away from the stretch of hospital.
There was other resources in every instance. There was no reason to do this. I don't see a justification.
I see it as if he uses Mercy, even if he uses even one bed at USS Mercy, then that means that he needs to thank Donald Trump for helping him out. This is real shit. This is how these people think. This is what they do. If you haven't learned this by now, not you, Sean, but if you haven't learned this by now, you haven't been fucking paying attention. So he knows definitely if I put anybody in the fucking nursing home, or if I put anybody in the Mercy, then that's basically giving in to Trump helping out, and they can't accept a helping hand from Trump. They would let 15,000 seniors die. Say it's 7,000, and they even lied about it the whole time. They had all those convention halls,
and now they're saying that the numbers, it's 40% more they're disclosing now, and that just makes me wonder what the real figures are.
Well, I wouldn't worry about an investigation because, you know, they like to help their own. I think at worst, like we talked about before with that other lady that you don't hear about anymore, within a week, you don't even hear about her anymore. Now all of a sudden, what's going to happen with Cuomo is same shit. He'll be gone in a week, and then he'll just make appearances on CNN and shit like that.
Get a nice little payout package.
Yeah. Yeah, but they'll act like they did it for the people, you know. Oh, we had to get Cuomo out of there. But really what they're doing is giving him fucking a nice payout package, and he'll do anytime he needs like a couple bucks for cocaine and hookers, he'll just go make an appearance on CNN. Because you know that's what they do.
Oh, that's exactly what they'll do with him. He won't face any real penalties or repercussions for what he's done. That's disgusting.
All of them too. All of them too. Anytime they need a buck, anytime they want to go out and party, they will go hang out on fucking CNN, Fox, whatever fucking news station it is, do an appearance or two, and you get a nice paycheck, and then go and fucking party.
Such a beautiful system that we live in. Brent says every time the senior dies, it saves the government over $5,000 a month.
He's right. He is right. And they're calling it what are they calling it? Like senior side or something like that, you know, like genocide but for seniors.
Mm-hmm.
It does make sense, but they do this all the time, dude. If you remember 2 years ago in Detroit, in the middle of February, they shut off people's electric and water. They shut off all their utilities, a whole fucking city, and said because the city and the federal tax revenues weren't paying for it. So I guess the city owed the water companies like millions of dollars. And finally, the water companies and the fucking electric company, DTE, got together and they fucking shut everybody down at the same time. That's fucking, you're killing so many people doing that shit. And they do that a lot in the summer. They'll have their rolling brownouts in Detroit. They won't have them in the white neighborhoods and shit. They won't have them out here where I'm at in the country. But you can guarantee out in fucking Inkster, Taylor, Detroit, they have these fucking rolling brownouts in the middle of the hottest time of the summer. And if you're on oxygen, if you're on any kind of fucking health assistance machine, it's shutting it down.
What is a brownout?
A brownout is when they only give you enough power to run one fan in your entire house.
For how long?
Hours at a time sometimes. It depends. Like right now, Texas, that's what Texas is doing right now. Those are called rolling brownouts. They're shutting down certain areas. They're doing rolling blackouts. The blackouts are total fucking shutdown. Brownout is they give you 10% of your energy each home. But it's the same thing they're doing in Texas right now. They've been doing this shit for years. Trying to get rid of seniors. These seniors ain't having it. They're living through it. They're like, fuck you. Just to fucking piss them off.
Well, they're out in the open about it, I feel. They lie out of one side of their mouth, and the truth is always right there in their actions, what they actually do. And it's disgusting. And it did happen all over the country. Why aren't we hearing more about why are they acting like Cuomo's the only one? That's what bugs me when I hear about it. This happened everywhere.
What was it? Your state? Remember Chicago? Lori Lightfoot.
I think Jones said they did it in Pennsylvania as well.
Yep. All of a sudden, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago changing her tune.
So they just pick one of them and then crucify that one because he had already kind of messed up already. He was already kind of on their shit list, wasn't he?
Well, for
just throw him completely under the bus, act like it was just him and only those 1,500 people. Don't turn in your national figures from how you pulled that shit all over the country.
Well, the Fox is saying that, and I agree with you, but Fox is saying that the reason why they're going after him only is because he got it first. His state got it first, and everybody else was watching him to see what he was going to do so they would follow his suit. That's what Fox was saying. Fox
So
said
they're not responsible because of a follow the leader clause or something.
I guess that's what Fox is
Yeah.
saying. But as if they weren't all in on the same conference calls, as if they weren't all being told, hey, if the more motherfuckers die, how bad do you think Trump's going to look? Let's be honest.
Lightfoot does look like Beetlejuice, Ron. You're right.
She does.
She's freaky looking.
It's weird.
I hate to say that. It's mean, but
she doesn't look anything like she looked like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, when she ran for office, she had long hair and makeup and nails and all that shit, and she looked halfway decent. And then politics got her.
She's afraid from the bullshit.
I don't even think she's as extreme as she tries to be. I think she got caught up in the bullshit because if you see, she's literally opening up her fucking city. She's opening up her schools. She told the fucking teachers, "You don't come in, don't get paid. We're opening the schools. Fuck the union. We're opening the schools." And she even said, as the schools go, so does everything else. So if we open in schools, we're going to have to open up entertainment industry. We're going to have to open up restaurant industry. We're going to have to open them up because we opened up the schools, but we have to open up the schools first. And I'm like, yeah. And then a minute later, I'm like, wait a minute. That's that fucking, I'm supposed to not like her. Right. So I think a lot of these people.
There's other reasons to not like her.
Oh, there's a ton. But I'm sure these people fucking get caught up in it, in the whirlwind. And a lot of times they're out of office before they even realize that they've been had, But right. She ain't having it. She's literally like, open the fucking schools so we can open society. Do it now or don't get paid.
Well, I hope more people stand up and put a stop to it. That's all that will.
It's going to have to be people like her, the mayors, the city councilmen. It ain't going to be the governors. The governors are too deep in the swamp.
Yeah. So that's where you should put your pressure, you think, is on your local leadership to end this bullshit?
Ron, put what Ron just set up on the screen. That is exactly right. That is exactly right. Do homeschooling if you can. I suggest homeschooling. I'm just telling you what she said about opening, the city of Chicago. But yeah, I would rather do homeschooling 10 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And for exactly the reasons that fucking Ron's saying right there. Everything is bullshit. Columbus wasn't the first settler here. Why did he get here and Squanah was already speaking English? The fuck? I mean, use your fucking head.
I have problems all the time trying to help my kids with their homework because I don't remember what the lie was, what the manufactured history was. In time I've learned what really took place. So they'll ask me about something and I'll be like, I can't remember what your teacher's going to want to hear.
Yep, and Riley's right too.
What about Lightfoot is mad? Yep. People aren't enrolling your children in school. The state is losing lots of money.
Yep. Losing cash, big cash. They're losing cash from the entertainment industry too. Look at all the tax monies that people pay just in entertainment money. We call it sin tax: cigarettes, booze, ammunition, guns. We call it a sin tax. All these things get taxed, and it's fucking a lot of money that they're not getting in.
Yeah.
It's not just the business owners.
They lose money in funding based on attendance.
And, the bigwigs rely on like Apple and fucking Microsoft, things like that. Like all these different diversities. They have millions around the fucking world, right? But the fucking mayors and the city councilmen, they don't. So the people that are in their pockets are usually local businesses, the trash companies, things like that. So when these people ain't making their money, they're coming to her, and they're like, look, bitch, we ain't getting our money and this ain't right. We're literally millions of dollars in revenue not coming in. And it's not just tax money coming in. It's also the people that got her elected, because when these people donate to your campaign, they expect something in return. They're not giving you fucking millions of dollars because they think you're a fucking cool, swell guy.
Really?
I know, right?
Man, what if you just want to believe they just really like you a lot?
Like they just think I'm cool.
Yeah.
They think I'm cool.
They just really, really like me. That's all. They don't want anything.
I mean, let's be
Pharmaceutical
honest.
companies just love putting money in my pocket.
And they're all dirty, even the ones that I'm talking about, the lower level ones. It's just levels of dirt, you know?
Yeah. Well, power corrupts.
So now they're infighting. You got millionaire fucking you know, in the closet dark fucking companies that are going after these millionaire fucking companies that are on your TV every day. And they're infighting. There's a lot of infighting that's going on right now, I've noticed, in politics. And it's fucking great. That's why it's entertainment. I call it entertainment. I call it what it is.
You dig it for the theater of it. I just am. I've kind of like turned my whole attention away from it. I pay attention a little bit just to see what's going on, what's happening, but it's ridiculous at this point. Like you were saying,
it's theater. It's all theater.
It's funny, and I think it's sad.
There's nothing you can do about it. It's there. It's always going to be there. But you can watch from afar, though, and watch it like a movie. And you can hope for good things to happen. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong with hope. Hope is awesome. I hope every day for some shit to happen to these people. So, you know, when I watch them squirm and I see Cuomo up there trying to explain where half his fucking state's deaths came from, it's fucking great. Even though he's full of shit, you still watch him squirm, and he's stumbling all over his words and shit. He's singing. He's like a kid when a kid doesn't get their way, and you're like, why? And he's out there singing his fucking dialogue. I'm loving it. Same with the newscasters. They're all singing their dialogue. They can't believe what's happening right now. There's a lot of shit going on right now that's behind the scenes. A lot of shit, like especially with that impeachment. And then you have the stimulus check. Now you got Biden and Bernie, who is the head of the budget committee. So now that Bernie's head of the budget committee, I'm pretty sure billionaires are being taxed 89%, like he said he would, right? But
sure.
But anyways, but that's beside the point. So him and Biden are going back and forth now on that $15 an hour thing. So Biden doesn't want to. He don't want to raise it a penny. Yeah. He don't want that as part of the bill, as part of the stimulus bill. He says we can talk about.
Oh, they're trying to put that in the stimulus bill. Why they always got to try to tack extra shit? Just give me my $2,000 you told me I was going to get, and don't give anybody else any money.
He says, okay, so this
could be like an inch thick bill.
This is an eye opener. The new drafted bill, which is probably going to get passed, is you get your $1,400 check. They extend unemployment until August 29th, and they want to up to at least $400 to $600 bonus per week on the unemployment. But why would you? Okay, so you're foreshadowing some shit ahead, and literally the CARES Act does not allow unemployment agencies to turn anybody down. Every applicant gets paid. So why would you extend it till the 29th, August 29th? What are you looking at? What do you know? And what are we in for?
Yeah. Dark winter.
Those are the things I look at when it comes to politics. I look at the numbers and the stats, and everything else is bullshit. You can watch the news and you might get 30 seconds of real shit, and the rest is just opinionated bullshit.
Right. But you're right. They're going to sprinkle some real shit because they got to fill a whole 24-hour segment, and they don't always get the narrative on time. Yep. No, he's right. That's what they're going to try to do. That's what these are for. These stimulus checks is to get you used to this.
it's to draw us in, you know.
Yeah.
A little, you know.
Flirting with the UBI and making you dependent on the system and shutting down the economy at the same time.
The trail of chocolates to the bedroom before we get fucked.
Well, it's about time they at least kissed us.
Oh shit!
But something bad's coming. Everybody, they know something's bad's coming when they're giving you a little foreplay.
Yeah. Well, their millionaire friends are always going to want entertainment. So I think bowling alleys are good. I think they'll always be part of entertainment. Um, every bowling alley I've ever worked at, they get a lot of fucking football players, celebrities, millionaires, and shit go in there and hang out and have fun. It's a place for everybody to go, and they're everywhere. They're all over the country. As long as I can flip a wrench, turn wrenches, somebody's got to build something.
Right. Well, it's getting tough. Ron says, look and pay attention to the movies coming out. You can see it once you know what you're looking for. They're preparing and programming us.
Always. They always
Absolutely.
do. Ahead of time. You got to, you listen to the phrases that get repeated over and over again by different people through commercials and everything. And you start to realize that they're programming us for something ahead. They're just so fucking dumb that
Pelosi said she would step down if Trump won.
Oh, yeah, if he got acquitted.
If he got acquitted, she said she would step down.
Yeah, now she's talking about firing everybody.
Why isn't she stepping down?
I don't know.
That's not right. They should hold her to her word.
They always live by their word. I don't get it.
Yeah. What about all the ones, remember all those celebrities that were saying they were going to move out of the country if Trump became president? They never did either.
No, they're just all talk. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You haven't talked about me in a while. What about me? Look at me.
What are you smoking on there?
Fuck, I forget the name of it. It's like a strawberry tip flavor.
All right.
Indica.
I'm coming up on empty pipes.
I'm going to learn how to make these.
You're going to learn how to make those?
Yeah. I'll start making these. I'll be making them.
Are they complicated?
All natural product. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't
right
be.
On.
Nope. I already make the FICO. So once you make your FICO, the strength you like it, then that's what you add to all your products.
Oh, okay. And that's what they make those with too?
Yeah, it's just going to be FICO and whatever you can mix it with. And something that'll burn, something that won't plug up the little filters and shit.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be like a thinner oil byproduct. And that's what that is. That's an oil byproduct.
Well, now they're even talking about doing new lockdowns and restrictions and even masking because of climate change.
It's not global warming anymore?
They were saying that they were talking about doing the lockdowns and all of that for climate change before, but then they saw how effective it was during this COVID crisis, and they feel it would be a good way to fight the crisis, the real crisis Bill Gates is now promoting is climate change before they get around to their next virus.
Because that'll justify all the people they sterilized with the jabberoonie.
Sergeant J, hey, happy Valentine's Day.
Sergeant J.
Better than never. You can't be late.
J. Road, I love J. Road.
I know, right?
We used to smoke down every morning.
Every morning you smoked with Jay, burning one. Me, yeah. I used to hang out and burn one with Jay all the time too.
Jay's the shit. Jay needs to come out and fucking start doing live feeds and shit again. Getting back with the peeps.
Hell yeah.
Love Jay. Lockdowns and masks are retarded. That's one way of saying it. I mean, it's true.
Hey. No, for me neither. No, you can have mine. I don't want it. They got 600 million of them now, though. Doses. Why do you think they want so many?
Sterilization.
332 million Americans.
Your sterilization for future generations. What happened? I mean, let's look at the first virus that he spread over in Africa. He ended up having to apologize for it publicly because he sterilized some 30 million fucking African men.
Hey, there's the definition. So it means less advanced in mental, physical, or social development than is usual for one's age. Offensive, very foolish, or stupid. So I'm no English teacher, but I think maybe you might be grammatically correct.
Maybe.
Maybe. It's a good chance. I'm feeling stronger about it now. All right, Jay's burning one for all of us. So we all I gotta take it telepathy.
I got one for Jay too.
There you go. No, and I'm not willing to allow myself to be experimented on. That's how I feel about it. But I'm lucky that I don't know a lot of people lining up for it, but I'm hearing sad stories of people that do.
Not good ones. I have a personal friend from way back that I've been lurking, because she works at one of the pharmacies and they're forced to take it. So I've been lurking her posts every day, and she got the jab, and she said she felt pretty good, and then the next day she's talking about high fever, very weak, all the no smell, no taste, all the symptoms of COVID.
Right.
And then the next day she's like, I'm feeling okay, maybe 50%, but I'm feeling like like this is going to be it, and everything's good. The next day she's like, oh, I'm sick again. That's how it was when I had it. It would come and go. You lost your taste and smell. So basically these people now they have COVID. So
I'm finding stories all over of that, of instances where they'll mass dose like a nursing home, and then 14, 15 of them will come down with COVID. It's happening all the time.
Yeah. If you look at it as a sense of they're not trying to, no conspiracy or nothing, if you even really want to look at it from the mainstream point, they're literally giving people the COVID like Trump and all his buddies when they had that COVID party. That's basically what they're doing, giving it to you.
The vaccine doesn't even defend against the virus, but it does transmit it.
It gives you the virus so that your body can fight it off, and then you can build immunities to it.
Right.
But why not just let us get it herd, through herd style?
Which is why Moderna, wasn't it, backed out of their vaccine because they said that would be the better way to go. The better option would be to develop herd immunity.
Yeah, they said
just by getting it.
He said, they said herd immunity would be the best way to go instead of what did they say? Forced transmission. So basically, they're admitting it too. That's what they're doing. They're doing herd immunity, but at a faster pace.
Well, Joanna says 7 people have gone blind.
And that was one of the symptoms of the severe COVID. Remember when the Chinese were getting it? They were getting it bad. They were dropping in the streets, convulsions and shit. By the time it got here, it was a weaker strain. But we'd already had SARS. SARS has been here for shit since 2009. So our bodies, a lot of us have already had SARS and didn't realize it. So a lot of us have already built up the immunities to it. That's why it didn't hit us as hard. But China, they walk around with masks and shit all the time. So when they got hit with it, it was their first time getting hit with SARS. And they were fucking just like I felt in 2013 when I had it the first time. It was the worst. I thought I was going to, nobody else in the house got it either. It doesn't spread like they say it does. Something else is going on. A conspiracy or not, something else is going on. Viruses don't fucking spread from person to person like that. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, so I had SARS in 2013, and I had 103 temperature for 5 days straight. I fucking every breath I took, I thought was gonna be my last. No bullshit. I had to teach myself how to breathe just to survive. And then when I would take little 5-minute naps, I would literally pray to God that if you're gonna take me, do it during this nap. But see, now when the COVID came around this time around, which is SARS, I got it, but what I had was my symptoms were no taste or smell, and I was really fucking weak, like really weak. It took a half hour, 40 minutes just to get out of bed.
Well, I guess I got lucky. I didn't get anything like that.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Did you think they were very comparable and that you got through it better this time because you had it before?
I think so, because the people that got it severely this time around, I think it was their first time getting it. And they had yeah, she's right. But they had shit, where was I going with that? Oh, so they never had it, and this was their first time getting it, and their symptoms that they were talking about this time around were really fucking similar to the ones that I had back in 2013. I thought I was gonna have to go on a ventilator. When I went to the doctor, they didn't know what it was. They didn't test for SARS, and he literally just fucking told me to start taking flu medicines and shit like that, and vitamins, and hope I don't fucking die. There's really nothing they could do for it. Because I wasn't going on no ventilator. I wasn't going to stay at the hospital. None of that shit. Just tell me what I got and get me the fuck out of here. It was the worst. It was the worst. It started out the first 5 days was fucking sweat so bad, and it was chills, and if I had even like just a little piece of my shoulder showing without a blanket on it, I would chills. The chills so bad that your jaws are going. It was bad. God. It was bad. And then fucking you'd wake up in a pool of sweat. Literally fucking a pool of it. Splashing. It was fucking bad.
That is hell of a story.
So yeah, check this out though. This is where it gets better. So in the peak of the whole thing, I haven't smoked, not cigarette, nothing, because my lungs were so bad that I couldn't even breathe without coughing. And fucking so I fucking take a piece of the White Widow that I had, and I just said fuck it, and I balled it up like a pill, put it in my mouth and sucked on it for a little while, and then swallowed it down, with some water and shit like I would a pill. And man, I swear to God, within 4 to 8 hours, I was fucking, symptoms were gone, and I was fucking eating again, and I slept better than I've ever fucking slept in my life that night.
Just from eating a little weed?
Yep.
White Widow, huh?
Yep, White Widow. It's from it was because I ingested it. And when you ingest it, the body filters it, and then it puts it in the areas that it needs to be.
See, I didn't know that you could just eat without doing anything.
I do it all the time now since then. I'll take a bud and put it in my mouth, suck on it for a minute, swallow it down, and then you'll feel it throughout your whole body. You get pretty fucking high too. Oh yeah. And that's what saved my life. And then another time, and fucking another weed story. On Thanksgiving, I had an impacted tooth, and it was bad. So I ended up in the hospital with infection and high fever and all this shit. And they had me on tubes and shit. And I was like, man, I can't. It was the game where Jerome Bettis was playing against the Lions, and he called tails, and they fucking said heads it is. And fucking, and it's that's some bullshit. But anyways, so a friend of mine comes up there later on at like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I've been up there for like 5 days. I would not eat. I haven't eaten nothing, and they write under a little clip where he's not eating. And so I go outside with her, and I put my coat on over the thing, and I got the tubes and shit, and it's on wheels with the bags, and I just fucking rolled it on into the elevator. Nobody said nothing. We got down to the fucking outside. I had a cigarette for the first cigarette I'd had in 5 days, and then she pulls out a joint. I was like, okay, fucking hit that like 4 or 5 times, and then went back inside, and I was blown away. And all of a sudden, my appetite was back. I was hitting that button, and I said, hey, I want to eat. I don't care what it is. Give me something, And they just started bringing it in. And then my mom shows up like a half hour later with this big Thanksgiving meal. And that was awesome. And I ate all that fucking shit. But for 5 days previous, I was not eating. I'm telling you, marijuana does it. That's why they give it to chemotherapy patients. because they don't give it to you to cure the chemotherapy, but they give it to you because during chemotherapy you can't sleep, you have no appetite, all that shit.
No, it's amazing. I sing its praises every opportunity I get. I believe weed is the answer. No matter what the question is, weed is the answer.
Weed. Yep.
Cannabis. I try not to call it that, but everybody knows what you're talking about. It's like the conspiracy theory thing. I know it's got a bad rap, that word, but that was the first thing I ever called it. You know?
I always called it weed. I still call it weed. Even
I
in
always did.
concentrate
I don't
form,
know
I still call
why
it
I
weed.
try to break myself of it. I guess because of the negativity surrounding that word. I always want people to have a better attitude about cannabis and see it as medicine and not view it as dangerous.
It's everything. It's fun too, though. Let's be honest. It's medicine,
It can be,
but
yeah.
it's also fun. It keeps me even keel. You know, I'm actually I'm not able to function throughout my day without it.
No, I'm not either.
Always.
I don't want to go back to doing anything without it. I didn't do very well without it. It's really given me a better quality of life, honestly.
Way better.
I would love for them to drop the damn price. God, they're killing me with this.
That's why they need to legalize it so I can start sending
Ron
it to
has
you.
Scooby snacks.
Scooby snacks, fatties.
Yeah, they need to legalize it. Damn it. They're talking about it at least. You think they'll actually do it? The Senate's talking about doing it in this year.
I think they will.
Yeah.
That
must mean they figured out how to best make money off of it.
Well, now they know that they can tax every product that you make from it, and they're figuring out that you can make thousands of products just from that one product. You're not just taxing a joint, you know, you're taxing the edibles, each package of edibles, and they make thousands of different varieties of edibles.
They're making
so
tons
each one
of
of those tax money through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, that's like my theory on infrastructure. If I ever ran for president, I would run on total rebuild of infrastructure, because you're creating 100 million. That's literally 100 million jobs, because your infrastructure isn't just the roads. You're talking roads, bridges. You're talking water, the pipes leading to the water, everything, the schools. That's infrastructure. So you're talking 100 million new taxpayers. That money's going to pay for itself. I mean, at first you're going to get a hit because your shit needs to be so modern that in 50 years, when this project is over, it's still modern, you know? So you're talking a lot of money, but that tax money is coming back out. Think about 100 million brand new taxpayers. How much money is that coming back in? It comes out to like $17 trillion every 16 months. They would have, and that's what would pay for all your free shit, everything you want for free, even UBI, because they would have so much of this money coming in, rolling in constantly, that they would have to spend it somewhere. It's Brewster's Millions. So they would have no choice but to give you everything, free healthcare, all that shit, retire at 45. And that's originally what retirement was supposed to be. It was supposed to be 45, 50 years old. You were supposed to enjoy your retirement. But we squander our monies so much that we can't afford all the retired people. That's why they're killing them off like flies. It is what it is.
Well, they need to stop sitting on all this money.
Well, the thing is that if you roll in a plan that's just basically, it's a rolling ATM. So if you bring this plan in, they have no choice but to spend it, because there's so much of it that nobody is going to claim that they don't know that money's not there. And there's so much of it that they'll still be able to squander their money, and it's still going to fucking need to be spent. You're talking literally tons and tons of money every fucking 16 months, $7.5 trillion. That's literally the 2 stimulus plans paid off in 2 years. Boom. But the thing is when you pay the bank, when the Federal Reserve is neither federal nor reserve, so you're paying interest on your own money, which means you will always be in debt, always, no matter what. You could try to get your debt down to zero, but you can't because there's interest on those bills that are being printed. There's interest on those fucking keystrokes that are being put up on the computer screen.
Right.
We need to get away from that system. But you can't do it through anarchy and then build the system overnight. You got to have something in place. That's why I'm all for green energies if you can put something in place. You don't have anything in place. So you shut down our oil pipelines, but you're still using some oil pipeline somewhere because we haven't transitioned yet. Which means we're gonna be buying the shit from somebody else, which is gonna raise our prices through the fucking roof, and we'll be back to $4 a gallon again. It's just basic economics.
It's disgusting economics.
Makes
me sad.
It's
finding the best way to screw everyone over and make the most profit for the fewest amount of people. I just think it's disgusting.
Oh, they know that. You think they don't know that an infrastructure plan like that would fucking bring in fucking ponies and rainbows? They know that. They don't want you to have. The haves don't like it when the have-nots start to have, Sean. I noticed that in the 1990s. The haves do not like it when the have-nots start to have. That is a fact. Prove me wrong.
No, I can't. You saw it just now with the GameStop thing.
Well, you seen it when the economy started to boom. Everybody had jobs again. And then all of a sudden, bum, 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 cuckoo virus.
Yep. And now their numbers are dropping and they're dropping the fear down the notches because Trump's no longer president, but they act like they don't know why.
Yeah.
They know exactly why. They were pushing a fear agenda on full blast.
Yep.
Now they want to make it look like Paul. I said Paul because Ron's comment that Biden's doing something. And someone mentioned earlier, Riley did, that Biden's going after assault weapons and high capacity magazines. So he's trying to sell assault weapons
more guns.
high capacity magazines.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you're going to go after them, you're not going to warn them first. The only reason you would warn them first is to help them sell more guns. So now you're going to have people freaking out saying, man, I better go buy some assault weapons.
Yeah.
Remember they did that under Obama.
It really does. And they do this all the time.
Statistically, nobody sold more guns than Barack Obama. Statistically, nobody sold more guns than Barack Obama. The way he did it, by claiming he was going to take them away. And finally, Senate pushed him and made him do something. So what did he do is he signed over the fucking flea market loophole. So literally, more than 2 people are in a room together, you can claim that that's a flea market and we can sell each other guns all day long and not even have to show each other ID.
It's crazy. Yeah, they told me about that when I first got my medical card, because here in my state, if you get a medical card, you can't legally purchase firearms anymore, but you can do the gun show loophole.
The gun show loophole.
I found it weird that they told me that.
Isn't that retarded? Isn't that fucked up?
They're like, yeah, you can still go to a gun show.
Yep. So he like Ron's saying, though, what they'll do is they'll just tax the fuck out of the bullets and they'll scare you into having to buy more ammo. So they're going to do it through the ammo.
I heard that ammo is getting scarce. I don't know if that's true. I don't even have a gun. They just don't want to have one.
It is getting scarce. But what is not getting scarce still is 12 gauge spray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. The slugs are getting hard to find, but the buckshot's still heavily available. 12
So do you
gauge
think it's
buckshot.
just that people are buying it in mass that's making ammo scarce, or that they're causing a manufactured scarcity?
It might be a little bit of both.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I
I think it's
do know a
probably
lot
a
of
little bit,
people that are.
because that would drive sales as well, making you think that they're scarce, make you stock up.
Mhm.
You know,
Well, yeah, didn't they threaten it in the when Trump was still president? They threatened to add some kind of gun something in the coronavirus bill. They threatened to do it. They didn't do it, but they threatened to do it, and then all of a sudden everybody was buying up ammo like crazy. That was in the
it's
summer.
great marketing. It
I
really
remember
does
that.
drive sales. It does.
Right? Yep. 12 gauge has a good spread. It does, man. That should have put a 3-foot hole out your ass.
They say that's what you want for home protection is a shotgun. So
Yep.
what you got going on today? What's going on in the Paul Jones world today?
Snow blowing. Got to do that.
Snowboarding. I need one because you could, if I had one, I could get down to the convenience store. But
Oh,
otherwise, I'm not going to be
yeah.
able to do it with dry socks.
No.
There's just no way I get down there with dry socks.
No, but you know what? You have to bite the bullet sometimes for the things we
I
need,
think I'm going to have to.
like
Because I got a
cigarettes.
lot I got to do today. I still got a lot to do. I'm trying to finish that World's Fair video. Brent's here. I'm writing the script right now, Brent. So anything last minute you want to send it to me in Messenger. And because it was your topic. So I want to make sure we get close to what you were looking for. But I found a lot of interesting stuff. I don't know if the rabbit hole I've decided to go down is the one you were talking about, but there's a lot there. It's pretty weird with these world fairs, but I want to get that done. I don't know if I'll be able to finish it by tomorrow, though. I'm hoping to.
World's Fair.
Well, I'll just go ahead and spoil it a little bit, but what it is what I'm finding anyway is that these things were really done to hide history, and these structures that were supposedly built for these world fairs may have actually already been there. That's where the theory is. That's where I'm
I believe
circling
it.
right now anyway, and it has to do with another interesting topic that I had someone on a long time ago, and now I'm having difficulty getting in touch with him because he's left social media. But I've had someone on before about Tartaria. You ever heard of that?
A little bit. Jason talked about that, didn't he?
Jason mentioned it sometimes, but Tyler is who I was speaking about. Long time ago, there was a friend of mine, Tyler. He would tell me about Tartaria all the time. But it's this hidden civilization that is theorized to have existed. But it blends into that story a little bit. But like there was interesting evidence I found about one of these world fairs having never even actually taken place. The Chicago one, in 1903, I think. I can't remember offhand. I'm bad with numbers, but I'm looking into that right now. So I'm trying to pick where I'm going to zero in because we're only talking about like a 15-minute video.
So I got a theory for you to look into.
What?
The government during in between World War I, World War II, they wanted to get the upper hand on technologies that Germany had, and they literally built Tesla a brand new Wardenclyffe Tower.
Really?
Yep, people sleep around it every day. So what happened was they built the New Yorker Hotel. Tesla stayed in the New Yorker Hotel for the last 10 years of his life. They had CIA and FBI agents that lived in rooms on the same floor as him. Everybody knew this. He had carrier pigeons that he trained to go to the park and back. So that's how he would get his communication back and forth. But he did this before too. He did this on the Eldred. He took their money, which was they were supposed to do one thing, and he ended up doing another. He always does that shit. He doesn't, and that's why J.P. Morgan dropped him, was because he likes to take your money and not tell you what he's doing. Like Wardenclyffe Tower was supposed to just be an FM radio receiver tower. That's all it was supposed to be, and he built it to be a fucking time warp. So the government now, which is the guy that was staying. This is kind of weird. The guy that stayed down the hall from Tesla for the last 10 years was Donald Trump's uncle.
Is that the
So
same uncle that went through all the
yes,
belongings?
he got
That
all
he-
that shit. There was 80. Yep, there was 80 suitcases that he took, and he told the public he took them, and he just wanted to go through them, and then he gave 60 back. So there's 20 missing, and but that's beside the point. So, anyways, the New Yorker hotel now, when it was built, has a big copper cylinder about as big around as like maybe 80 feet, circular, huge, right? And its thing goes down 60 feet into the bedrock, and then it goes all the way up to the top of the hotel, which at the time was the biggest building in America. So they look into the blueprints of this thing, and coming out of the bottom of the copper cylinder is these tunnels and hallways, and they go in these different directions, and one goes straight out, and the other two come down, and these are your grounding rods, and it's literally it was an identical blueprint to Wardenclyffe Tower, and the hotel, when it was built, had its own power plant installed in the basement, its own coal burning power plant. There was a power plant that today even could light up 16 city blocks. They don't need that kind of energy for one hotel.
Damn. That would be interesting to look into. I'm going to have to look into that now. I have to add that to the poll and see what.
I'll send you some links to the videos I've been watching on it. But yeah, the New Yorker hotel was built by the government for Tesla as the new Wardenclyffe Tower. He lived there for the last 10 years of his life too. And that's where he died.
I know that's right. So I'm going to have to look into the rest of it. And that sounds super interesting. That would be wild.
Well, of course.
They actually built that for him.
Well, just like Mike Pence with Trump, they're always going to have somebody there to keep tabs on you. And that's why the agents had rooms on the same floor as him.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to wrap up for another episode of the Morning Yank. Because I got to get back to work. I got to do a motivational video for tonight too.
Gia.
I need to get my butt in gear. I need to get ahead again.
Yeah.
I used to be like a week out. I used to be ahead.
Oh, you work, man. You have a full-time job. You have a family. You have a house. You have cats.
They need to pay me more too because my medicine's too expensive.
That shit is expensive.
It is. And they attribute to my stress, and that is my stress relief. So they need to benefit me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You need to contact some local growers.
Yeah, I do. I need to find me some local growers. I definitely do. Need to work on my networking skills. Mm-hmm. But have a good day, y'all. And thanks for watching. We'll be back next Tuesday morning with another Morning Yank. So see you later, Paul. See you later, peeps. Come back tonight for the main show. Have a good day.